Hey, it's Monday, February 22nd, and this is now on HNN.
United Airlines is grounding some of its Boeing 777 jets after a flight headed for Honolulu experienced engine failure.
All of a sudden, it was just this big, you could just feel it like boom.
500,000 Americans who passed away.
Observing a grim coronavirus milestone from the White House to Capitol Hill. I'm Natalie Brand with how the lives lost are being honored, plus new changes to try and help the smallest of businesses during the pandemic.
And the golf world rallies around Michelle Wie West, following what's being called highly inappropriate comments by Rudy Giuliani. Those details are coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon. Thanks for watching This Is Now. Jonathan and Ashley here coming to you from the HNN Digital Center. We want to begin with those breaking numbers from the State Department of Health.
Health officials are reporting 52 new cases today and no new fatalities. The breakdown by island shows 2 cases on the Big Island, 1 on Kauai, 28 on Maui, and 21 on Oahu. The health department is also reclassifying the death of a male inmate at the Halawa Correctional Facility as a COVID-related death. Officials say the inmate was between 60 to 70 years old and died in February. Meanwhile, we got an update from the head of Hawaii's public schools on when full in-person learning could resume. Here's DOE Superintendent Christina Kishimoto.
We do have 76% of our students doing some in-person learning, so that's great. We have new CDC guidance. We're working with Department of Health now and with all 4 county mayors and the governor to talk about reopening so that we can have our elementary schools back at minimum, hopefully our middle schools as well. I want to be able to be fully reopened by the summer, but We're going to keep staging this up safely.
Okay, and I'm going to combine a couple of questions here because I think this is interesting. We're going to try and get them back into the classrooms by the summer. Does that mean perhaps extending the program or extending the curriculum into the summer months, perhaps to even catch up with some of the time that we've lost?
Oh, I think we're going to have a robust summer learning program and allow students to come back or to continue into the summer months as needed. There is a lot of great work happening right now, but we do need to make sure that all students are connected, are learning and completing their curriculum so they start next school year ready for that grade level that they're moving into. So yes, this is really about thinking a little differently about what the school year means. At the same time, we have 10,000 students getting ready to graduate, and we want to make sure they complete their work on time so they can transition to higher ed and to the workforce successfully.
Okay, and I know you touched on this a little bit, but I really want to push a little bit because this is the question that we keep getting asked is when we're going to have those kids finally go back into the classrooms. And I know it's still a work in progress, but what would you consider to be reasonable as far as maybe even the first schools, when you're talking about elementary and middle school, when could they potentially get full-time learning?
Well, fourth quarter is just around the corner, but I'm hoping that we can have more schools getting closer to fully reopening, especially at the elementary grades. We know that time together for students is important. Although I think realistically, not only in Hawaii, but across the nation, we're seeing that we're aiming for the summer and for next year as full reopening.
Dozens of Boeing 777s have been pulled out of service after terrifying engine failure over Colorado. Passengers on board in fear and people on the ground stunned as debris rained down from the sky. Check out this latest video into our newsroom today. Right now, the frantic search for answers is ongoing. What caused this engine to suddenly catch fire and fall apart? And are other planes at risk? Here's NBC's Megan Fitzgerald, who's looking for answers.
Nearly 130 Boeing 777s worldwide grounded.
Mayday, mayday.
after terrifying moments in the air Saturday when a United flight leaving Denver for Hawaii was forced to make an emergency landing.
Aircraft just experienced an engine failure, needed to turn immediately.
The plane's right engine failed mid-flight, bursting into flames.
All of a sudden, it was just this big, you could just feel it like boom, and you could hear it, and we started shaking.
I feared for my life. I did at that point.
So the engine was on fire and there was smoke coming out of it. So I told my wife that the engine was gone, and she got up and looked out the window and was a little bit panic-stricken.
The pilots managed to land safely. Panic and fear turned to relief. None of the 239 passengers and crew on board were hurt. Overnight, Boeing saying all 128 of its 777 jets powered by a specific Pratt & Whitney engine should be grounded. The engine maker dispatching a team to work with investigators. The NTSB says 2 hollow fan blades that are unique to the engine were fractured. And an engine cover known as a cowling also came off. That debris scattered throughout neighborhoods outside Denver.
All of a sudden I heard a big boom and the house shook.
I get up and look at it, and I see right away it's the front end of an airplane engine.
The FAA now requiring immediate or stepped-up inspections of the planes. United, the only American carrier affected by the order, saying it would temporarily stop flying nearly 24 affected 777s. Aviation experts puzzled by the flying plane parts.
This is a bit troubling because the structure should still remain attached even if you have a fan blade failure.
Growing concerns over the mysterious malfunction.
Oahu is on track to move into Tier 3 in just 3 days. The next tier could happen on Thursday, and it would mean social gatherings and eating out at restaurants with up to 10 people. No capacity limitations on retail stores, and 10 people playing unpermitted outdoor sports. Sports requiring permits would still be restricted, but Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi says he's working with the governor to bring back team sports. An announcement could be made this week. As the U.S. death toll from COVID reaches 500,000, the Biden administration is making changes to a popular program that helps keep employees on the payroll. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
In remembrance of more than 500,000 Americans who've passed away.
A moment of silence on Capitol Hill, and later the president and vice president will mark a grim coronavirus milestone, crossing 500,000 lives lost to the pandemic in the U.S. The administration's top health officials held a virtual national forum on the COVID-19 vaccine.
We need to have not just one opportunity for vaccination, but opportunities for people to say, maybe not today, but next week I might be ready.
To address the ongoing economic fallout of COVID, President Biden announced several changes to the Paycheck Protection Program to try and help small businesses that are still struggling.
When the Paycheck Protection Program was passed, a lot of these mom and pop businesses got muscled out of the way.
Starting Wednesday, the administration will hold a special 2-week application period for businesses with fewer than 20 employees to allow lenders to focus on helping the smallest of companies. Additionally, $1 billion will be set aside to help sole proprietors and independent contractors. And it's also clarifying rules allowing non-citizen legal residents to apply to the program.
The American Rescue Plan targets $50 billion to support the hardest hit small businesses after this program expires at the end of March. Would you not help invest in them?
The president's $1.9 trillion relief plan passed out of the House Budget Committee today, setting the stage for a possible full vote in the House by the end of the week. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Dozens of U.S. airlines have pledged to start contact tracing, but there's no uniform start date. Howard Dykes reports.
2 airlines already do it. United and Delta have since September. And of course, Hawaiian has for years distributed that state ag form that collects much the same information CDC wants now. The new commitments are coming from American, Southwest, Alaska, and JetBlue. Dole Food is merging with Ireland's Total Produce. Dole shareholders will own 18% of the Dublin company that takes the Dole name. New Dole is world's biggest producer of produce with vestigial operations here in Hawaii. Local retailer Sand People is closing its corporate office this week. Sand People is down from 12 stores to 2 since COVID. The 2 remaining stores are in Lahaina and Hanalei. Washington is sending $1 million to the State Department of Labor. It's to fight fraud in pandemic unemployment compensation applications. And the State Commerce Department just went live with new vocational licensing software. It's called Koala and replaces Alias. Same website, though, MyPVL.
The golfing world is now rallying around Michelle Wie West following comments made by Donald Trump's former lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. The former New York mayor appeared last week on The War Room, a podcast hosted by Trump's ex-advisor Steve Bannon. Giuliani was remembering a round of golf he played with Wie West and the late talk show host Rush Limbaugh at a charity event back in 2014. As he recalls it, Limbaugh was complaining about the paparazzi and blamed Giuliani, only for the former New York mayor to point out the photographers were there for Michelle Wie. So here's the quote of what Giuliani said. Now Michelle Wie is gorgeous. She's 6 feet and she has a strange putting stance. She bends all the way over and her panties show, and the press was going crazy. Wie West called Giuliani's story highly inappropriate and unsettling. She took to Twitter and here's what she had to say. What this person should have remembered from that day was the fact that I shot 64 and beat every male golfer in the field, leading our team to victory. I shudder thinking that he was smiling to my face and complimenting me on my game while objectifying me and referencing my panties behind my back all day. She went on to say what should have been discussed is the elite skill level that women play at, not what they wear or look like. Quote, my putting stance 6 years ago was designed to improve my putting stats. I ended up winning the US Open that year. It was not an invitation to look up my skirt. The United States Golfing Association retweeted Michelle's tweet with the comment, sexism has no place in golf or life. We're always in your corner, Michelle Wie West. The Ladies Professional Golf Association also posted on social media in support of Wie West. Now, Giuliani did not immediately respond to CNN's request for comments on this story.
A massive recovery effort is underway in Texas after a devastating winter storm crippled the state. Morgan Chesky is in Dallas.
The deep freeze in Texas is finally over, but millions statewide now dealing with the fallout.
I don't have water again after 4 days without it because of frozen pipe.
Thousands still without power, and more than 8 million people unable to drink their water.
You know, this whole boil thing sucks, especially when you got 4 kids and 3 dogs and 2 adults in a house.
Relief is pouring in. Gilbert Gomez able to get his hands on a few days worth of water. How are you feeling?
It's just devastating. You know, we shouldn't have to live like this, you know.
Over the weekend, President Biden signing a major disaster declaration, unlocking critical federal aid for hard-hit communities. Officials in the state now targeting outrageous energy bills. The governor announcing a temporary ban on cutting off power if a customer can't pay.
A consumer should not be made to pay the price for these exorbitant bills.
That's exactly what happened to Scott Willoughby, who signed up for wholesale prices, not knowing his rate could vary. So when the power supply went down, his bill took off.
When it was all said and done, what was the damage?
$16,798, something like that.
And this was not a bill, this was withdrawn.
This was withdrawn straight from my account.
By the time Willoughby could switch providers, he ended up paying 80 times more than his typical $200 bill. Some well-known Texans now pitching in to help. Beto O'Rourke driving a truck of water from El Paso to Austin. Senator Ted Cruz serving firefighters barbecue after flying back from Cancun. Even Houston-born Beyonce offering emergency funding on her website. Texans looking out for their own, even on South Padre Island, where all those cold-stunned sea turtles were warmed up enough to return to sea. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Dallas.
Good to see those sea turtles going back to sea. A quick note from the state. You know how they expanded the window for those impacted by the storm to do their safe travels?
Right.
That was supposed to expire, I believe, yesterday. That's been extended to Wednesday. So we're writing up those details for you. We'll post them on H&N's digital platforms. Meanwhile, let's take you outside. Seen a little bouncing around, and that's really going to be the story of the week, those winds. Let's get an update from Guy Hoggy.
How's it on this Monday? We've got the trade winds running at brisk and breezy levels. They'll get stronger by Wednesday, and from Wednesday on, they're going to be very, very gusty. We could even get, some spotty power outages. It's possible that could happen with the extended time under duress from all those winds. Now, those winds will be pushing in some windward and Mauka showers. We're not expecting a washout anytime soon, just typical passing showers, but we're expecting a few more showers Tuesday night into Wednesday as a disturbance passes by. Now, today, typical trade wind weather. A few showers this morning, drying up by midday, and then a few more showers in the afternoon, mainly for those windward neighborhoods. Now, the surf's on the way up. North and West Shore is getting a little pulse today. Should be pretty fun. A little bumpy, yes. Bumpier still, bigger still on a rising east swell. Now, with those trade winds coming in for an extended amount of time, it's going to be big and dangerous on east shores for the next several days. High surf alerts will likely be posted. We could even get wind advisories starting on Thursday as those winds really step up. And we'll see again a few more showers Tuesday night into Wednesday from that disturbance coming in from the northwest. Otherwise, it's textbook trade wind weather, although it's going to be a little bit bumpy from Thursday into Monday. Wind alerts could be posted. We'll have more details on air and online.
It's peak whale season right now. Sammy Salino went out to see if she could spot some, and she had some luck.
NOAA said they've seen more mother-calf pairs than they have in recent years. Just this morning off the coast of Haleiwa, we had a great view of 2 adult humpback whales. And it's not that hard to spot them offshore as well. NOAA said the population is doing great, but with more whales in the area, more precaution needs to be taken.
Number one is not to approach the whales. We usually try to keep it at least 150 yards from the whales themselves. They're large creatures, especially the mothers and the calves. You want to give them their space.
So whale season is typically between November and May every year. We do have some early comers that show up September-October timeframe, and some that may leave later, as late as June. We've had sightings. The whales are coming down this time of the year to breed and have babies and rear those young and nurse those young.
NOAA said harassment, boat strikes, and entanglement poses the biggest threat. Officials say not to help the whale untangle itself or take off any attached buoys. It could do more harm than good. If you see a distressed whale, call NOAA's 24/7 Marine Wildlife Hotline at 888-256-9840. In recent years, the humpback whales got moved off of the endangered species list, and now they're protected. Sammy Salina for This Is Now.
I've only seen a few tails in the distance flopping around so far this year. Hopefully I'll get some up-close ones like Sammy saw. She has more video posted to our H&N digital platforms as well. Who knows the band Daft Punk? They were huge a few years back, right? Well, not so much anymore. You know the song, Around the World. I can't do it. You have to do it with more of a robot-y voice. Well, don't worry about it, Ashley. They're retiring after 28 years. And in true fashion, they posted a video of them walking around in the desert. This is a YouTube video. And then one of them pulls out a self-destruct package. The other one hits it. And that symbolizes the end. But the music industry says, hey, don't expect them gone forever. They could launch solo careers. Or, since they're so secretive, who knows? They might just launch under a new name.
So they wear those helmets
all
the
the
time?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're
That's
very
their thing?
secretive.
Oh, okay.
They're always in disguise. They sort of look like super techno stormtroopers.
Got it.
Yeah, they were big maybe 6
I swear I'm cool, Jonathan. I just don't
you
know.
your music taste is way, way cooler than mine. And I knew that one, but again, it's thrown it back a little bit, so.
All right, so this Thursday, sticking with the music theme, a documentary about young singer-songwriter Billie Eilish. I know who she is, so it's being released. The Apple TV doc about the 19-year-old is called Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry. Before the film's debut, there's going to be a live premiere event featuring an interview with Eilish along with a performance. Now, fans can stream it for free on Apple TV and Apple Music apps, as well as Eilish's YouTube channel, and the doc will tell the story of her rise to superstardom as a teenager.
19.
I know.
She's done a lot.
Yeah. And Disney is warning viewers there is some offensive content in The Muppet Show. So the variety show started streaming on Disney Plus last week, and viewers will see a warning now, a warning label for some episodes that may feature, quote, negative depictions and mistreatment of people or cultures. Now, there's an episode hosted by Johnny Cash where he's standing in front of the U.S. and Confederate flags. That one's labeled. Another disclaimer pops up before an episode where the guest star does has an Indian accent, and Kenny Rogers' episode is labeled because it shows Muppets dressed in Arab garb drilling for oil. Now, Disney says these stereotypes were wrong then and they're wrong now, but instead of removing the episodes, they wanted to acknowledge the issue so people can learn from it.
All right, let's get to some food news.
That's
we
right.
love that stuff.
Yes, so I don't know if I'm just hungry because it's lunchtime, but this sounds really good. So a new competitor wants in on the action that is the chicken sandwich war, and this may surprise you. Taco Bell is preparing to test its new crispy chicken sandwich taco. It features fried chicken marinated in jalapeno buttermilk, yum, coated in tortilla chips, yum, then topped with chipotle sauce. Triple yum. So it describes the shell as puffy bread that's shaped like a taco, and starting in March, the company's going to test it in restaurants in Nashville, Tennessee and Charlotte, North Carolina, and then it's expected to roll out nationwide later this year.
When's it gonna end, the chicken sandwich war?
That looks good though, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the shell there. It looks like a pita, maybe?
Yeah, they said it's a puffy bread.
Okay.
Yeah, texture.
Okay. And you tried a new one recently, right?
Did I?
No, wait. What was the thing you were trying out last week on your Instagram? It looked delicious. Oh, your Instagram always makes me hungry. Is it Popeyes something? Something at Popeyes? No?
Oh, the fish. Their fish
That's what it was.
Yes.
They switched. They're getting into the fish
Link
sandwich.
Wano and I split
Yes.
one. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, it looked good. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm so hungry. All right, guys. Get to some good news, some really good news. The global quest to help a three-legged koala is over. Ian Lee has the details. I love this.
This 4-year-old koala was dealt a bad hand early on. Veterinarian nurse Marley Christian rescued the marsupial next to his dying mother, only to discover the baby koala was missing a foot.
With the bone, it's sort of protruding, so it does give him a fair bit of discomfort.
He was named Triumph, but struggled to climb or even walk. Prosthetic companies around the world, including in the U.S., tried to help him, but every attempt failed. That's until Marley spoke with local dentist John Duhlman.
I thought to myself, surely I can have a go at manufacturing something for him, because that's what I do. I make dentures for people.
His prosthetic fit perfectly, giving Triumph a new grip on life.
Once I put the little boot on him and he did this little jump and then he was running around and climbing, I actually cried.
But Duhlman isn't quite satisfied with his work, especially with all of Triumph's scratching.
I'm in the process of coming up with a couple of different designs, see if we can do something a bit better at the bottom here. But it was a great feeling to be able to help him.
You got it?
And with each step, Triumph is living up to his name and making the trek triumphantly. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Okay, if that wasn't adorable,
gosh.
right? And his new claws
I'm
that he's
dead.
getting, or this new paw with claws, so cute.
I'm dead.
So cute. So guys, I've been waiting to show you this. It just came into our newsroom a short time ago. We've been talking so much about that Mars rover, Perseverance. It's been sending some cool images. I know we showed you some of those last week, but now we just got back the first recording of sound on the red planet. I'm going to play it for you right now.
All right.
Hear that? Yeah? That's it. It sounds like a seatbelt flapping in the wind. So exciting there, right?
Seatbelt.
He also sent back some Perseverance's pandemic shots, and here's one of those I'm showing right now.
Panoramic.
Yeah.
Not pandemic.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Panoramic. Whoa.
Panoramic.
Hey, we're almost
I
over
got
with
you.
this show. You got me. That's why you're here, Ashley. You're always here to help me. And that's going to do it for This Is Now on this Monday. We got a lot more show ahead of you for this week, so keep with us. We'll be here every day. You guys, stay safe out there.